Welcome to Songwriters from Here and Away. This is a show that focuses on new and established songwriters from Atlantic Canada, across Canada, and around the world. Hello, and thanks for tuning into the show. My name is Robert Campbell. This week I've got an interview that I did with Annie and Rod Capps. This couple lives down in the States, and we had a chat over Zoom. Annie Capps is the main writer, and Rod is the guitar player and support and partner for Annie. They have about 10 albums or something out now, and they have a new release which we'll play some songs from, as well as they'll play live. If you're listening to this on the radio, then be aware that there is a longer version of this show, more than an hour, on the podcast platforms of your choice. So look up Songwriters from Here and Away on your favorite podcaster. Or get to our website, sfhaa.ca. Now, here's Annie and Rod to share some of their story and some songs. Thank you for coming into the Songwriters from Here and Away green room. This is our office here in Dartmouth. Whereabouts are you guys located physically today?
We are physically in the basement of our home in Chelsea, Michigan, just outside of Ann Arbor. I mean, for your listeners, I'm holding up my hand. We're approximately here. Just above the fatty part of my,
right
thumb.
in the belly of the thumb.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. How long have you been there? Is that where you grew up, kind of thing?
No, we try not to count one of the years. We moved out to Chelsea in 2005, except for 1 year when we had to move back to Ann Arbor, and then we loved Chelsea so much, and we found another place back out here a year later. So,
Gotcha.
Rod, on the other hand, was born and raised Ann Arbor.
Yeah, and Washtenaw County is really, but yes, I grew up in Ann Arbor, and I have always, for the most part, lived in Washtenaw County, except for going to school out in Chicagoland in the late '80s, and
A brief stint with me
Annie,
in the Royal Oak area. Yeah,
yep, Annie came out of the, I guess what would you call it, Birmingham, Royal Oak area?
Detroit. I like to call it a suburb of Detroit, just because.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We floated around, outside of the big city for a while.
But we met in Ann Arbor, and we lived in Ann Arbor as well as Chelsea, which again is just a little bit outside. So it's very.
I never spent time down there. I've only driven through and drove through Chicago and through Detroit, and all these different places down there, and there's some lovely areas down there. Really.
Remind me where you are.
We're in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Halifax. So we are on the other side of, Maine.
Yeah. Nice.
Is that
nice.
15, 16 hours, or do you think you get down to Detroit, or 17, 18 hours?
To get to your place, it's going to be about 28. So
Whoa.
Wow.
It's a haul to get over to your house. Yeah.
That sounds like
I don't
a
know.
challenge.
It's a bit of a haul. Yeah. But it's great. You guys have been playing and writing and working together for that long and more, I guess, eh?
Oh, yeah. We started, theoretically we started in the 80s, but we probably really kicked off what we're doing now in the late 90s. After we got married and got ourselves over the cover band.
Right. So you had a lot of cover band experience as well, a lot of songwriters do. I think it's a valuable place to learn some of the craft by osmosis.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We very much, and some of your, actually a fair amount of your songwriting will hark back to some of that. And the fact that
we wanted to be rock stars.
We were very much rock and rollers when we were met, and we played in different iterations of those types of original bands that would get 13 or 14 tunes together and do 4 gigs and sort of self-destruct, and
once the pictures were once you printed posters.
Yes, exactly.
About a week
and when
later.
we had the photo shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
Built the website.
Oh man, I mean, people. We had jackets in one iteration of it all, and
Well, that's not funny.
I know. Anyways, long and short is it was good. It was good for craft, and it was good fodder for songwriting, and we made it through on the other side, and we get to play with similar intensities. I actually think an acoustic instrument is more dynamic in a lot of ways than guitars and drums, which sort of hit their own compression after a while. And the gigs are a lot earlier.
Yeah, right. We're home and in bed before a lot of our gigs used to start,
Right.
remember?
Right.
Yes, I'm all too familiar with that, and that's okay by me. So, and now you're, I mean, I've seen a lot of releases, albums. How many albums do you have, and tracks and stuff do you guys have in the archives?
We are working on, right now, our 10th album.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm counting, well, I'm not counting my solo project, but I'm counting 2 earlier releases that we don't talk about typically.
I have a couple of those as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
That's
Don't
okay.
we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are sophomoric with a little less.
Yeah, yeah. I know, but there are, gosh, some of our peers are working on their, 34th record.
Sure.
Like some people
Yeah,
are just so
absolutely.
prolific. We took, big gaps. And so we started probably, our very first record we put out in early 2000.
Yeah.
Probably just, when I say early 2000, I mean the year 2000.
I'm going to skip ahead to later in our conversation so that we can get to a track right now. This is Annie talking about Lightning Strikes.
Lightning Strike is the very first song I wrote for the Songsmiths. And Rod and I had just gotten back from New Orleans, the Folk Alliance International down in New Orleans. And I mean, it was our first time going to the Folk Alliance in a long, long time. And when I saw that they were going to be in New Orleans, I'm like, oh, we just need to go because we can write this trip off. And so we did, and it was beautiful. It was really cool. And so, I came home with all this imagery from New Orleans, and then got invited to be part of the songwriting group and had to write a song that was due at the end of February 2020. And the prompt was "If Only." And I mean, frankly, those are 2 words that I don't like. Like the very first prompt of this songwriting group that I joined was "If Only." And I'm like, oh, because that's no good. I don't want to wallow in the world of "if only," because, that's a kiss of death, right? So,
Yeah.
and I try very hard not to.
Could have been a contender.
I know. It's just like, oh, if only I hit it. Well, it's too late. If you're saying those words, it's either too late or it's not going to happen. Or just do it. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't know how. This was just a total exercise in fun and imagery. And I have a magnetic poetry wall, but that I use sometimes has funky little turns of phrases on it. But I also had the words written down. I don't know where I got it. Have pipe, will dream. Thinking of pipe
That's
dreams,
great.
right?
Yeah.
And I just started with those words, and that's where the song came from. I still have those. Have pipe, will dream, where, that little thing that I had written. I forgot all about that. But it ultimately became a song for people who, the idea that lightning only strikes once or never strikes twice in the same place. The idea that somebody, just was passionately, something that was very bad for them happened to them, but they want it. They want more of it, So you figure it out, like somebody who doesn't know when something is bad for them. So the metaphor therein lies.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah.
But I also just love the way this turned out musically. Rod's playing the viola on this song, and it's got just this beautiful
We had a lot of
intensity
fun
and
putting this together.
Yeah.
This is a track that Michael Shimon did as a drummer, did an exceptional amount of work too. So.
Yeah.
Have pipe, will dream, drop another coin in the slot machine. Snake eyes, ace as high as a kite. If only there could be another lightning strike. Spin of the bottle, luck of the draw, living every day like it's Mardi Gras, looking for your face on Frenchman Street tonight. If only there could be another lightning strike, but you only hit once, and you hit so hard, you threw me off my game with your electric charm, and you struck me down, down to the core. But I wanted more, I wanted more, I wanted more. Say a prayer, cast a little spell, spent my last dollar on the fortune teller. Was that really you or just another look-alike? If only there could be another lightning strike. Whiskey neat, one in each hand, refilled my prescription with the holy man. Whatever it takes to forget what you felt like, 'cause you only hit once, and you hit so hard, you threw me off my game with your electric charm, and you struck me down, down to the core. But I wanted more. If only there could be another lightning strike, looking for your face on Frenchman Street tonight. Was that really you or just another look-alike? If only there could be another lightning strike.
Yeah, and I think as we played with different people and we encountered different groups of folks and things like that, the collections of songs grew and got to the point where you could pick and choose. And
Yeah, I'll tell you something though. Just I
become
don't.
a very comfortable process. That's what I wanted to have.
Right. But
yeah.
we did not have a lot of recording studio experience. And our very first record that we made in we had a 900 square foot little ranch house in Ann Arbor. In the middle bedroom, there were 3 bedrooms, next to each other. In the middle bedroom, that was probably 9 by 9, was what we called the office. And we made a little studio out of it. And a friend of ours sold us a cheap version of Pro Tools. And we made that record with him and me. And then our friend, it was all this sort of early on experience of doing everything remotely. Our friend in California did the mixing.
He took the hard drive out.
Took the hard drive, and
or did we mail it to him?
something, I don't know. I don't remember the nuance of it, but it was. And then after that, we went into the recording studio for the rest of our records. But the very first one we did, and now, of course, the last several, where you see me right now, we're making our records.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And we accumulated enough chops and enough gear that we can catch our instruments well. If we need to spice them up, if we need to mix them a certain way, we have a studio, Big Sky studios in Ann Arbor that we use.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you have that microphone in front of you, Rod, which is the ear. You got the Shure 7, I think it looks like, and
Yep, SM7. Yep.
Yeah, and that looks like what is it? The ear shot?
Ear Trumpet Labs.
Ear trumpet.
The Delphina, the ear trumpet.
Yeah.
We like the way this catches the voice and the instruments together.
Yes, they are a
just happens to
fabulous
be
microphone.
talking.
Yeah.
We use that for all our live streams. I use this one for all my vocal tracks.
Yep.
I mean, for the last, I don't know, we bought this
Yeah,
several
we happened
records
into one
ago.
of these with an engineer just putting it up as a scratch vocal for her, and it has a notch that's really nice with your voice. And,
That is probably 15 years ago.
easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Not that you don't sound good in other mics, but it certainly again feels true to me.
Yeah, and it's funny, you said about doing the recording remotely and sending a hard drive back, and now you did that 20 years ago or whatever, and that was long before remote recording became a thing. And you had a Shure 7 about 15 years before everybody else did. Now they're popular.
I can't even. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we just were winging it. We didn't really know what we were doing, but it became a very. It just got really comfortable, and other than one record, we've made all our albums in the same studio,
right?
And in Ann Arbor, as Rod mentioned, Big Sky Recording. We worked with 2 different engineers there. The first one we worked with moved out to California, and this last several records have been Jeff Michael is his name. He's the owner of the studio, and he's terrific. And if it ain't broke,
keep going.
Right. Now my all female record, my solo project, I did with out in Grand Rapids. Kalamazoo, with a different engineer because Jeff's a boy. And I wasn't letting any boys work on that record.
Right. That would be the definition of an all-female record. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah. And so the process is pretty organic for you guys. And I've heard a number of tracks, not all of them, of course, but I've found that you've got your sound, you've got some great lyrics and some great writing going on. And you've done really well, I think, in your region and otherwise. Have you been touring a lot?
I wouldn't say a lot,
no.
And certainly not as much as we'd like to. We've been, as you know, because we met through the Folk Alliance International, that we started, networking and making a lot of connections of folks in the Midwest area, but we've also gone over to the Northeast region and we've gone to the Southeast region and have been really fortunate to find little pockets of places where there are some venues that like what we do. And so we were able to tour a little bit out east, Maryland area, Pennsylvania, and then this, and New York. And then this last month we went over to Kansas and Missouri and found, had a nice little tour over that way. But a lot of house concerts and a lot of small venues that are, have their own kind of...
the bread and butter of the folk musician, right? Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. So we're working on it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to butt in and remind you to check out Songwriters from Here and Away online, sfhaa.ca. We have all sorts of stuff up there, including all the podcasts. Now back to Annie and Rod.
Our latest record that's called Love and Rain that we put out in 2023. I can't believe it's been 2 years already. It feels like that went really fast. As always, I think your newest project is, your favorite because it's the songs that you're immersed in, but you're also playing those songs so often. But the first cut on that album has become kind of a fan favorite and certainly one of ours that we play at every show, and it's called Mr. Crow. I always felt like this song fits beautifully on the record, but the theme of the album is, there's love songs and there's songs that have rain in them and there's, the two working together, and all the songs on the album really fit that love and rain thing. And then Mr. Crow kicks off the album with just like really no reference, but it just felt right. So anyway, Mr. Crow, I belong to a songwriting group called the Song Salon, and I do the Song Salon. You came to Song Salon, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah, I've been there a couple of times,
Yeah. Similar to what you're talking about in your other songwriting group that's happening right now, simultaneous.
Right.
But I also belong to a group called the Songsmiths that I joined in February of 2020. And so as you can imagine, all over COVID. And what this is we get a song prompt every month and we submit it via video onto this private Facebook group, and there's 12 of us. And so a lot of the album, Love and Rain, were song prompts from the Songsmiths, and Mr. Crow was one, and the prompt on that was coffee. And there was a lot of time over COVID where I was sitting on my back deck and just playing to the birds And
Right.
we have a very active crow community in our backyard. Do we not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I joke around that this crow is not liking what I was playing. I was just playing a little lick on my guitar and just trying to figure out what. And, it's amazing how, like, you can open up the floodgates just by talking to a bird.
Right.
So I literally just started, playing this little lick on my guitar, pedaling these two notes, and started singing to the bird. And, the rest is history, as it were. And you'll hear the word coffee in there. But,
Okay,
yeah.
somewhere, and that's initially the trigger, but not
Right,
the
exactly,
ultimate
right?
end point.
Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't really thinking of the word coffee, right? Because, like, it was like, well, how am I going to fit coffee into this song?
I think what you're pointing out is to me so hilarious about these is that the prompt is sometimes like sidled up to totally sideways. I mean, it's come at from such an odd angle. It's not
Yeah.
necessarily the forethought of the writing,
Right.
and so it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mr. Crow, I know you've got something to say to me. From your unobstructed view up on the wire. When I was a bird, it's true, I saw some things. When I was a bird, the world had wings. But here I am now, just a simple human creature with these simple human eyes. Can't see what's right in front of me. Mr. Crow, it seems you've got a lot to do today. Cleaning up the kill out on the road. When I was a bird, I didn't care much for the feast. When I was a bird, I headed east. But here I am now, just a simple human creature with these simple human desires. Should I be aiming Mr. Crow, you are my very favorite color. Darker than the coffee in my humble little cup. When I was a bird, you could say I envied you. When I was a bird, I was blue. But here I am now, just a simple human creature with this simple human skin made me blind and a little bit unkind to a world beyond mine. I should be aiming high. Mr. Crow, I know you've got something to say to me.
Crows are so intelligent. I've seen some amazing stories. I'll tell a quick story because a neighbor back in British Columbia, he was a bit of a tough guy, and he was all ticked off at the crows, and he killed one of them, like on purpose, right? And all the crows ended up congregating on his house in mourning for days, weeks. And they would crap on his truck relentlessly. and I swear it was just the best.
No, that is entirely
Honest to God.
valid.
Yeah. We have a friend Lauren was just telling me a story that today. My friend Lauren was just telling me a story about, because Mr. Crow is one of her favorite songs, about her sister had a bunch of crows that were, just being really loud and obnoxious, and she wanted to get rid of them. They were hanging around, and somebody had told her to get a recording of a crow in distress and play it, and it would scare them away. And as you say, it was the opposite. All the crows literally were like, they came around and wanted to know, like, is this if they wanted to rescue or help this? Yes. And they're amazing birds. Amazing birds. Yes, I know.
Very fortunate.
I wish I could say this song, it had, more the specific reference to crow, but essentially it was just me, having a conversation, an existential conversation of imagining a past life as a bird, and not having learned a damn thing.
Well, that's fantastic. So, where are you at with the next projects?
Well, we are working on it.
Yeah, we've got the foundation of about eight or nine tunes down now. Bass and drums, and Annie's guitars, and her vocals are starting to get laid, and I need to put guitars down, and our mandolin player Jason Denny will come in and do his magic, and I don't know how many outside players we're going to put on, but we're contemplating some of that. It's nice to paint with all the colors when you have the chance,
Sure, yeah, and if you have the friends and they're the solid players that fit the bill, it's nice to use them for sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a wealth of, it's an embarrassment of riches, as they say, in our community of people who are incredibly talented. And we do have the same core band that we've been using for the last, I was just counting, Neverland, When They Fall. So this will be the fourth album with this band. Fifth with Jason. Yeah. Because Ozzy, our bass player is Ozzy Andrews, and the drummer we use is called Michael Shimon, and he's terrific. So,
great.
Yeah. We're very
well. And the thing that happens with bands, as we know as players, after time, you read each other's minds a little bit, and the gel is fabulous. And if Rod wants to go left or right, or Annie wants to go left or right, you know what? Oh, okay, he's going over here. Let's go over here with him, right? You're down the same road. And it's just a thing of beauty that happens over time. Yeah.
It is a dance, and we've been so fortunate to have these folks hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah. It's very intuitive. We're to the point where it's like, I'll bring these new songs in, and it's just, we could almost record them, A lot of people do go into the studio setting and then just take their band and go like for a weekend or, and come out with an album at the other end. And we have not had that luxury just because, scheduling and all that, but we really have sometimes the very first thing that they play is just exactly right.
Sometimes we'll lay it down and circle back to it. Even after we've tried to find something different or something elevated or this or that, suddenly you're back to sort of what that first take was. So that means that that I think it's what you're describing, that we have good instincts together with it. So.
Yeah,
cool,
for sure.
Yeah, so that's on its way.
Nice. Well, we'll look forward to that. Do you want to play a song live?
You want to play one of those?
Sure.
Okay.
Play one of the new tunes.
Yeah, we're gonna play one of the new tongs.
I have to tune this up.
He's going to make me tune too, I guess, so it's probably one of the things I should do.
That's a lovely guitar, a double cutaway acoustic guitar. Who made that?
Awesome.
This is a guy named Abe Wechter, who was a Gibson luthier. I think he left Gibson in the late 80s. And it is very much a thin neck, narrow neck. It feels electric, which is sort of where I came from. And I picked it up about 25 years ago and have just sort of formed around it.
And the double cutaway makes it so you don't miss your Gibson SG quite as much.
Exactly. Although I never had an SG, I think this stays in tune a little better than an SG.
Yeah, most guitars do. Yeah.
But you know, I don't think about how nice this is until I'm up against a 12 or 14 fret, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah.
I've got the extra room.
I would have to roll up into cello position, to do that kind of stuff.
So this one, okay, so I'll give you a little preamble on this one. There's so much going on at this stage in our lives. I'm going to be 64 this year, and we're, as we were talking about our past in the rock and roll world and just, sort of dreaming about becoming rock stars, and when we were in our late 20s and early 30s and not sure what in the heck we were doing. We had day jobs. We had, just so much going on in our worlds, and we had so much going for us, but we didn't know it. And then, fast forward, life takes over. Now we're at this stage where we're helping our parents. My stepmother just downsized out of a very, very large 5,000 square foot house into like a little tiny 500 square foot apartment. And she's not one to easily let go of things, let me just say. I could regale you for hours with that drama, but suffice it to say, there were a handful of things that made it back to our house. In the process, I'm also sitting here going, what can we get rid of? I do not want to do this to anybody. So we were trying to downsize ourselves, but what should show up in the basement of this house that never threw anything away but an old 8-track player? And I'm like, oh God, this is the coolest thing. Okay, I'll bring this home. This will be the one thing I bring back to the house that Rod will be glad I brought. So
I just got it on the bench. I haven't cracked it open yet, but I can verify that it is 1973 nicotine sticky.
Yeah, right. Nicotine sticky.
It is an old piece of gear. So we're not doing torch, are we?
Oh no, we decided that in mind.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
Tearing it up on Michigan stages, Jackson DeRozier shooting for the stars. Back then our days belonged to the 9-to-5 bosses to pay the bills, but the nights were all ours. Now me in my leather and platform shoes, and I know that I had all the right moves. PA speakers and guitar amps held together with duct tape and clamps are too heavy to lift these days. We find so they're out of sight and out of mind. Picked up this rug from Sears for $100, 100 years ago. This third-hand couch has seen its share of naps, kisses, fights, and stupid TV shows. Now there's a great big dumpster in the drive with remnants of our changing lives. Broken lamps, an 8-track player, an old bookcase beyond repair. No regrets or old lang syne, just out of sight and out of mind. Can't go back or hit rewind, so we need to leave it all behind. I'd laugh. Well, the hours tick away, and all I've got is a couple of chords in my epitaph. Well, the words don't come so easily these days. I'm sick of my own feelings. All I'm trying to do is prove a heart or two, and it's got a groove. I always do my best, so I'm not out of sight or out of mind. Big rock band finish.
That sounds wonderful.
That will be the rocker.
It is
That will
definitely
be
the rocker.
That will be full production. I've already heard the rhythm tracks, and they crush. So, yeah.
Cool.
I know, boy, we could have actually. No, we couldn't have done
We
that.
could have played along with them.
Yeah, we could have played
not
the.
Yeah, spun the rhythm beds.
Oh, you want to do something
Yeah,
else
right.
while we're here? You want to do the one that I thought we were going to do? Do
Oh,
we have room for two?
You have room for 4 if you want. It's what I do with this is just so you know is I create a 1-hour show.
Or whatever.
right. And so you just kind of go through and decide what you.
Yeah. Well, and the podcast I take even more of it if I want it.
I said,
I just need little hints. This is brand new, and you know how they always go. Like the ones that you like the most are the ones that are right out of the gate.
Yes.
So, well, I say that while we're talking about all these songs from our last album that we're still having so much fun playing. But how are you doing a lot of writing these days, Robert?
I am doing more now. I'm starting back into it. I took a hiatus for a good, almost a year of not writing too much, doing some
Yeah.
co-writing. But
Yeah. I remember
getting-
really appreciating your writing. It's been a while since I've heard any of it, but and I just asked because you can appreciate, I would imagine, like, especially after 10 albums, you have, and then there's a whole bunch of songs that we haven't recorded yet. And when you go to make your set list, when we go to play shows, right, we don't, it's hard to pick.
yeah,
You want to just play for 3 hours.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that much of us,
No.
but it's like, I would just we just want to go play our songs as much as we can. And so, I don't know, we've been doing these live streams, which we're doing one tomorrow night
Yeah.
with the quartet. They come down here and hang out in
Right.
the basement. And
I've enjoyed the live streams. I've seen a few of them. So yeah.
Aw.
we it's tricky to, to keep a couple sets worth up in the air though and ready. It's a moving window that moves through the body of songs and
Right.
And we've been doing some fun stuff where we go back to we're gonna do a revisit, a 20-year revisit of an old album, correct? 20 years.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And actually, the guys don't know it from the album. We're going to teach it to them as if we were just sitting in the room teaching the tunes to them, and sort of reform them in that sense, and then just do a show. And this
Right.
is all a shameless ploy to try and get the last couple boxes off the shelves. Because,
Oh, yeah.
good Lord, they've been hanging around forever.
If I
Yeah.
turn the camera around, you'll see what. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The
not.
inventory. Hello, we should write an inventory song.
I'm looking at 50 or 75 CDs right over there, so I understand. And they're not different; they're all one CD. This is a spot where I get to do a shameless plug and say, come on over to Nova Scotia. Check out what we're doing here. We've got live concerts, workshops. We also have online workshops. We have another one coming up in the fall, and we'd love to see you. So check out sfhaa.ca. And please do like, follow, and share not only our pages and places, but all these artists. Check them out. And speaking of which, the website for Annie and Rod Capps is just that, Annie, ANNIE, and Rod Capps, CAPPS.com. Back to the show. The songwriting process is always a mystery to most of us, in a sense. I find it's a lot of hard work at times. Where do you guys write as a duo in the same room sometimes, or do you one of you create, do the other not really create?
I write the songs, I write the
Sure.
melodies, I write the the words and the chords.
Right.
He frequently will suggest alternatives, or if I get stuck and I'm like tired of this whatever I'm working on, he's made
Right.
some really great arrangement suggestions. But I never consider a song finished until Rod has come in and done his dance on them, which is
Sure.
Yeah, I joke on stage that she writes the songs and the checks, and and that I keep the car packed, and I get to color around the edges, and
Right.
I always think of what we do as oftentimes I get to make the capital letters have a flourish to them, or muscle up a hook
Right.
under a passage to bring the chorus,
Sure.
lift the chorus up, or things like that.
Right.
he should be a songwriter though, right? With all that,
Well,
add the flourish to the capital letter.
I just
Yeah.
somebody said you do lots of curly cues, and I think that works well, especially acoustically,
Yeah.
in the way we put things together. So I try and serve the song, and I don't want to say flesh it out, because it's not skeletal when you play it by yourself. But I think I help you couch the performance of it in a certain way, and since we get to do it together, that's what we gravitate to,
Right. Right.
So,
And 90% of the songs that I write always have an instrumental solo, and I always have space for that piece
so
of
I
it.
certainly get to compose there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's setting aside for improvisation, or doing something scripted, or what have you.
Right.
Yeah.
I get plenty of leeway in that.
I was commenting. We were talking in a songwriting workshop the other day about parts, and how a lot of songwriters play. They'll bang out the song, but they don't think about the pieces of the song as parts unto themselves, and the melodic function of what you're playing on the guitar, the melodic function of this guitar lead, or the hooks, and really you can put it together, a series of hooks in a sense that are nested together to create the song, right? And that ear that you would have for that is very valuable. And of course nowadays a lot of the contemporary stuff, the producers, which you would be in that case, I guess, in a sense, they're part of the songwriting team, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a different
Although I
thing.
will correct you that generally speaking, I'm the producer of these, the thing, and he. However, you are absolutely right. What he does, to me, the hooks of the songs come out of Rod, like
Right.
specifically those instrumental hooks. You're singing those I'm singing those solos the way we used to sing. Our old favorite Jimi Hendrix solos,
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I
don't know why I said Jimi Hendrix. That just first.
I know. Now you got me thinking. We were just talking about "Driving South" by Hendrix on the live BBC. It's got to be the quintessential cut of his. But anyways, honey, it's just another facet, a dimension that's getting added to it. And
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
I think it sparks back and forth. I'll hear these things just sort of burbling up out of the ether around the house, and she'll sit down and say, "Want to hear a song?" and it'll be in some stage. It'll go off the burner. Some go away for a year and come back. It's
Or 10.
Right.
Right.
It's sort of
You know
just
that.
a constant stream of things, and there's a point where it starts to be something that's looking like we're going to perform it, and the two of us sort of get it to a point, and then the band will come in or not. Oftentimes we're learning how to do it with the band and as a duo at the same time. So
Right.
sometimes the parts are pretty fluid. You know, I'll play may not settle in for a while. Like that song we just played, I'm still looking for a few things there.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's where the recordings come in too, because you get he'll sit here in the basement with the recordings, the tracks that we've made, and play along with them. And he and Jason, our mandolin player, frequently play off of each other. And
Right.
so ultimately what ends up happening is that you play, finally you get something that you really like, and then that's what you learn. I
Right.
mean, you know, Robert, right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you've recorded and you might totally change the melody line, or
Sure.
I mean, I'm notorious for changing lyrics in the middle of making an album, but you know, that's
Yeah.
That has been the last thing we've done a couple times. Is one last little lyric change.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's more.
Well, and I've so when you sit down, do you sit down to write? Do you book time, or do you just writing all the time? How does it work for you?
It has evolved a lot over the years. I have never been a sit down and write kind of person unless I have a thing that I'm working on. Like so often what'll happen for me is I'll pick up my guitar and just start noodling around. You know, I'm not, this is lately. It used to be when I first started writing songs, I might be listening to the radio and typing away at my secretarial job. And then there's this little thing that you can do, Alt-Tab, that'll change your screen. So I frequently would have a whole song going in the background so that my boss came in, I just Alt-Tab and went back to whatever I was supposed to be working on. And then when he'd leave, I'd turn around and go back to... And I would write entire song lyrics, a couple of which are on this 20-year-old album, while I'm, you know, at work, because this rhythm happens and then suddenly... You know, the radio, when I listen to music, I'm very, very inspired, and it's hard for me to not want to just turn it off and go write a song. And
Right.
it would sound almost as if like now that's the thing that I'm going to write, but it never ever sounds like what I was just listening to. It's just that kind of, now you've got like something that's processing in your brain, and this songwriting group again has been a thing for me where now I have to be deliberate.
Do you have one more tune that you might want to talk about that I could play for the folks?
Let's go ahead and do When They Fall. I mean, these are all pretty edgy songs that we're sharing with you for this.
Oh, I've heard When They Fall.
That's the first thing. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's the first thing that it starts playing automatically, which I feel bad about because I keep meaning to change that and I forgot how.
We should do that.
They have people for
I have
that.
to go look. Let's see. I wonder. Yeah, this is under the
So
camera.
is this track that we're going to play, When They Fall, is that on your previous album?
Yes, it's the title track of the previous album. Yeah, in fact, it's. I think I don't. I mean, again, I don't know how much I want to say about this song other than I just was so these two. When I say these two, I mean Rod and Jason. There's so much about this song musically that I love so much. The harmonics that he gets on the guitar, the intricate instrumental lines that he and our mandolin player orchestrated throughout this song, and the dynamics of it. It's just one of those that has a lot of, to me, it feels really emotional and really captured the emotions of what we feel about this song. And of course, we had the video out there that I filmed. It was inspired essentially by the city of Detroit, because it's my closest big city, but it really could speak to any large city that's going through, you know, its growing pains and the gentrification and the folks that get left behind who were there, in the, you know, all along, but are not reaping the benefits of the growth.
Climbing up on the scaffolding, 200 don't ever look down. Sparrows, deserted playground. Stories burst at the seams, wide open, closed to the public, on display for no one to see. The city is sleepwalking, having a ball. Denizens hide in the shadows while the kids from the burbs do the pub crawl. And there's nobody looking when they fall. Mattress rescued from curbside, mangled malt liquor cans, needles, remnants of chalk lines, no looking for next of kin. The city is sleepwalking, having a ball. Denizens hide in the shadows while the kids from the burbs do the pub crawl. And there's nobody looking when they fall. Climbing up on the scaffolding, 200 feet off the ground, painting dreams on the side of the building, but don't ever look down. Don't ever look down. Never look
Detroit is not the only city that I'm aware of that is suffering the vagaries and disruptions of the neo-capitalist
Yes.
agenda. So,
Yes, amen. Well put, sir. Was articulating all that. So yeah, that and it became the theme of keep this part in or not, but I remember very specifically I belonged to a group called the Yellow Room Gang, which may or may not
Right.
be familiar to you, but 8 songwriters, Jan Christian Beiser, part of that, David Temulevich, Michael Huff, David Barrett, and Kitty Donahoe, and Matt Watroba. I think I got everybody. And we were regularly meeting once a month at least. Yeah, we were meeting once a month. And we just get together and do what we do now with the Song Salon. We'd have some works in progress that we share with each other, but this is was just the 8 of us. And this song was almost done, but I did not have the line "When They Fall." I had the chorus, that whole the city is sleepwalking, yada yada, that part of it, and it ended before that line. And when I brought it to them, and essentially David Barrett said to me, "You're missing your title." And I realized, so much as you can imagine with songwriting, that I don't work with titles. A lot of people, they come up with the
Write
title of
to
the
a
song
title.
and then they write to that title, right?
Right.
Or the title comes out pretty quickly. The title of my songs generally come after I've been working on it for a while, and I understand what I'm writing about when that starts to reveal itself. And so in this
Right.
particular case, that song title was what was missing in that line. And I remember adding "There's nobody looking when they fall." I remember adding that line very specifically, and it was fun. You should talk about like the music, like how that, I don't know if you remember when you guys were working on that.
It there was a couple different things that came up as we started through it. Ozzy, our bass player, said, "Well, that's a tango," and he basically placed a tango bass line, if you will, that feel that
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, yeah.
and that informed a number of things, and similar to that other piece that we were playing, there's a lot of interplay between that B7 and the C. So there's these sharp little half step smears that are going on, and both Jason and I know that, well, I should speak for myself. I was interested in doing some passages with the guitar that were like displaced octaves, so they're just linear, but every other note is kicked up an octave, so you get this laddering effect. And I found that was laying itself out very nicely with some of the things Jason was doing.
Yeah.
And then, as silly as it sounds, we were noticing some similarities to some of the old metal tunes we used to listen to, particularly the Scorpions, and we're joking around with the fact that just the hilarity of the hair bands of the 80s.
Great, now they're going to hear the Scorpions.
I know, and
Yeah.
and so yeah, we were actually, I'm sure we in some way stole a couple of runs here or there, and we get to do a little chase around of again, of curlicues, sort of chasing each
Right.
other around and down into the sort of the final lyric. So for me, that's much fun. I don't have to concern myself with these words and things like that. I am running these threads and again trying to stay out of the way of the tune and help it out, and
Yeah.
I get to have my own little fun with it. So
It's fab. He's a great mandolin player,
oh yeah,
Okay.
and
Yep.
being able to work off someone like that is a joy, isn't it? It makes
yeah. I mean, I've been.
it gives you so
fortunate.
much room to move.
Yep.
Yeah, and the ideas kick back and forth. Yeah,
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Indeed. We notice it when he's not around, like because we know what's missing. But if people hadn't known that other part was there, what Rod does stands entirely on its own,
Sure.
in a beautiful way. But it's so interesting to me. And I was going to say something else about that song that, it really speaks to all of these songs, actually. I guess so. We have this little phrase, this songs about broken things and poignant little ponderings, delivered with a rootsy vibe, a touch of twang, and a soulful groove. And this was something that was given to us years ago by our friend Whit Hill, who wrote a little bit of a review about something. And of course, we paraphrased and played off of it. But the idea that I'm always writing about broken things, it's like, so there's always, whether it's people, whatever, something that's not, my brain, I think we're always kind of like, yeah, I'm attracted to things that are broken,
Well-
and that feel like they're not given and that need a voice or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're digging around the edges of the hope that's there too, though.
Yeah, I
and
try.
so,
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I always feel
Yeah.
a spin even in the darkest.
I want people to have to like come back and hear something new. Like when I write a song, I don't feel like it's complete unless there's like you can listen to it multiple times and get something new out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
Subtext and yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Or find your own meaning too, because that's, you know, as you know, we don't get to have a conversation about our songs before somebody might listen to them at some point, you know,
Right.
unless we're doing a performance. And even in that case, like you're not going to have this kind of conversation.
When I do the songwriter meetups and some of these chats and mentoring or whatever, one of the things that you don't want people to do is tell you what the song is about before you
Yes.
hear it. At least I don't, right?
Yeah,
and
same.
and definitely at these songwriter nights and stuff, just let us hear the song and tell us about the song, but not what the song's about,
Right.
right? Which two different things, and
Yes.
it's a very fine line to walk, and it can detract when you can't make up your own mind what the song is about, right?
Right.
Because the listener has so much more. They have their own intelligence engine sitting in the back, listening and creating scenarios and building the image that they're listening to, right? And expanding on the image that you're creating as a songwriter. So yeah, it's lovely, and I found that with all the songs. You're right. You have a depth to the lyric, which is really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
I think it's important.
I agree, and to your point, we've talked frequently that people who are listening to your songs are bringing their own history and their own baggage and their own perspectives, and you know everything that informed how their brain hears something, you know, to their song. So no matter what you are writing about, you're not necessarily. I mean, people might be curious. There are people that certainly go, what was that song about? Or like, you know, who were you thinking about when you wrote that song? Or, you know, that kind of
Is that
thing.
one about me?
Yeah.
Rod, I keep telling him they're all about me.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes an appearance once in a while. But for the most part, they're all about me because that's all I know how to write about. I know. Anytime I've tried to write about anything that I couldn't like personally feel something to, like, you know, just even this song in particular, one of the things that one of the exercises I used with it is just few words, right? Like not a bunch of, like, which is, as you, the antithesis of the last song we played that has a lot of words, and but also just having the opportunity to kind of paint a picture and a mood. Like we all, like, there's nothing, these are all very specific things. The furniture that's in the room, right? And the candles and the couch and the storm and the lightning and the windows and, you know, even the roof and the key and the kite, all of those things. It's very tactile, you know, but to me, it's all metaphor.
Right.
You know, right? So anyway, yeah. And it's also a love song.
So it is.
So it is about you, Rod. See?
Possibly, yeah.
There you go.
I'm at least I'm in the running now. It could be one of the cats. It could be a sibling. It could be a concept.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm in the running then.
Yeah,
Well,
well, hopefully there'll be a much more eloquent version of that song on the album. But, you know, thank you for letting us try it out on you today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. This is what it's all about.
Friends of mine, Jan Christ and Jim Beiser, with whom Rod and I are in a band called Diamonds in the Rust.
Yes.
And also Jan's husband, Alan Finkbeiner.
Big
Jan
members
and
of
Jim
Farm as well.
Yeah, exactly. Jan and Jim and I put on a songwriting retreat and have been doing one. We just did our 6th annual. They started kind of out of COVID. We did them virtually, and then now they've become in person. And this next song that we're talking about playing for you is one that came out of that. And so we also do a prompt. We give the prompt the week before so people can think about it and start working on it if they want to. But we as songwriters, as the instructors or the facilitators of this thing, I did not start working on this until like the day before. But it was just, again, another one of those, you know, times when I I think I just started doing. And I'd say this because I don't ever do that. I'm either doing
Travis
something,
picking or something.
or
Yeah.
picking or strumming, trying to find a groove. I don't think I've written a song where it is this, like, and I imagine a piano on this too, my friend. So, which I wish I could play the piano. It's just E and B7.
Yeah.
Anyways, I throw one more chord in it later, but, well, actually two, kind of. So, yeah.
Are you going to do it?
Shall we play it?
Sure. Have
Felt
at
like
her.
a perfectly
Would
good
love that.
introduction to it. Okay. It's called Torch Song. And you'll understand. I'll tell you about the prompt after we play it. Brilliant, flashing, flickering, crashing, the whole house lit up and the power went out. You grabbed the candles and I found the matches and we hunkered down, curled up on the couch, a little uneasy as the window panes rattled with each thunderous clap. I couldn't help thinking sometimes it takes days for the light comes back. And I want you to know I'll always carry a torch for you. It might sound strange, but I really don't mind when the electricity goes out in the night. Maybe we should climb up on the roof with a key and a kite. Whatever it takes, I'll always carry a torch for you. 'Cause all of the times I let you way down, you pulled me up like a forklift from the ruins, dust off the debris, and tell me you love me and absolve my sins. Now our eyes adjust slowly in the dark. There's a shadow on your face cast by the flame. The storm isn't over, but we've got far too much skin in this game. So no matter what, I'll always carry a torch for you. I hope that you know I'll always carry a torch for you.
So you came to Montreal for Folk Alliance and you won an award.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that award. And I know it doesn't have anything to do with Rod, so we'll just listen to you.
Okay, so it's called the Spirit of Folk Award, and they give them out every year to people who have demonstrated a I don't like to use the word excellence because that's far from how I feel, but leadership,
Commitment to craft.
commitment to, well, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things, but like in my case, I think it was kind of hyper, even though the woman who introduced me, who, described my successes and my worthiness of the award, was John Prine's wife,
Right.
Fiona Prine, and that blew my mind. I
That
couldn't
doesn't suck.
believe that doesn't suck. She actually went and researched me, like she wrote all that herself. But
did a good deep
she
dive.
did bring up the community aspect of making an album with 40 women,
Right.
and like kind of going after that, which was a something that was pretty awesome. It was done over COVID, and just the whole experience was really awesome. And but I think primarily my work with the Folk Alliance Region Midwest, in terms of the leadership, and we really, I certainly didn't do it alone, but I saw a need to lift that organization into a more productive and effective regional organization that is good for the people who attend it, the presenters and the artists, and a place where music industry professionals can actually really grow their careers. And it's difficult for me to talk about myself in these terms because I do struggle with the fact that there's an awful lot of people out there who are doing an awful lot of great work, and they don't ever get acknowledged. And
Yep.
basically, I just long for community, and I long to be part of something. And so if I can't find a place to join, then I'll just create it myself.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
so you
It's-
build it, they will come.
It's super important, and that's why I do the stuff that I do, for the same reason.
Yeah.
It feels right. And when you have those moments where the other day a 14-year-old kid got up on stage and said that he had been not doing well until he came in and sang at the venue where I was hosting an open mic. And this kid is now in the workshops with us, and he's playing and he's singing, and he's a different person, not because of me. I just gave him a key, right? I said, open the
Right.
door, man, go up and sing, right?
Yeah.
And the music, the songwriting, and this expression brings people together, and
Yeah.
you're a force to be reckoned with when that happens. It doesn't, and I get it. You don't feel that you did anything different than anybody else did, but we don't see the ripples. We don't see the wings of the butterfly, but we can see the effect. So there you go.
The butterfly
true.
effect. I love that. And what you've done, when you say you opened a door, like I think that's a really you created a space, right?
Yeah.
And and any time we can create space for people to express themselves, and certainly in this, times when it's very difficult, and
Yeah.
especially young people that don't have
It's
an outlet
essential.
for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, and even for me, like it's popping into those Folk Alliance, farm, Folk Alliance Regional Midwest farm
Yeah.
events during COVID. It was, for me, I didn't do a lot, but I realized there was something there, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't here, but I felt part of something very much so because of you and the people in the room. and it gave me something to be a part of when I wasn't a part of anything,
Yeah.
like you and so many others. COVID hit, and we canceled the Europe tours, and we canceled all that, and the world stopped, and
Right.
it gave us something to hang on to. So we all need that something to hang on to, right?
Yeah.
I think it's really super important. And well, God bless you, girl. That's great.
Ah, thank you.
You deserve
I
it.
know. Well, again, like I said, we are always, and I will continue to work to try and be worthy of the award, to the extent that it's something that, I'm passionate
Yeah.
about,
So are you active with Farm now? Are you doing much with them?
I have been.
Yeah.
I
Are
haven't stopped. The conference director, as you know, 2 years ago, I passed the torch over to the wonderful Ellen Stanley, who's been doing an amazing job and
Right.
fresh energy, fresh perspective, younger, more connections for her, in her world. She's bringing it in a big way. I have just been continuing on with the virtual connections part.
Right.
Stayed part of that team and have helped run their virtual performance lane, and we meet, every other week, and so that core team is still around. And then, which is Charlie Mossbrook and Smitty Smith, who, Charlie is now on the FAI board, and Smitty is still on the board. I just got talked into being on the board again. They appointed me back to the farm board, so I am back on the board.
Back
and
on, yeah.
will be, but essentially I've been involved all along anyway, so I don't
Yeah.
see that changing much, except that now they won't pay me to do some of the work I was doing. Teasing.
And just for those who can't see it, Rod is laughing in the background. Yeah.
The background, I know, oh my God.
Welcome to the way it goes. Sometimes got better things to do than moaning and crying. Ask me how I'm doing and I might say fine when I'm not, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Well, my scrambled eggs on rye came out over easy with a big old side of bacon that was undercooked and greasy. Our server had her hands full with a guy behaving sleazy. What's a poor girl supposed to do? Well, something that you said rang truer than true. You said, welcome to the way it goes. Sometimes got better things to do than moaning and crying. She really wants to kick it where the sun don't shine, but she can't, and that's the way it goes sometimes. On the way to see our favorite band in Nashville, left the house an hour early, traffic's bumper to grill. Big bang boom, all the cars stand still. Oh, what's a poor girl supposed to do? It's something that you said rang truer than true. You said, welcome to the way it goes. Sometimes got better things to do than moaning and crying. Maybe there's an answer past the exit sign, maybe not, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Well, some parades get a clear blue sky and some parades get the rain. We don't always get the answer to why, so what good's it gonna do to complain? Welcome to the way it goes. Sometimes got better things to do than moaning and crying. Maybe this'll be your turn to shine, maybe not, but that's the way it goes. Welcome to the way it goes. Sometimes got better things to do than moaning and crying.
So tell me about this tune. The way it goes.
So much. This one.
How did you write the darn thing?
How did I write the darn thing? This is going to be one of those times when it was not at all me sitting down with my guitar picking up, but this is a true story. I was making breakfast and Rod was just hanging around, like, we were talking, and I was telling him a story about how a friend of ours had a show the night before, and another friend had been talking to that friend, and that friend was lamenting the fact that there were not a lot of people made it out to the show, and they were feeling really bummed about it. And Rod said,
well, welcome to the way it goes sometimes.
And I said, hold please, breakfast is going to have to wait. And immediately went into the other room and started writing this song and the very first thing that happened was, welcome to the way it goes sometimes, got better things to do than moaning and crying. And like the rest of it, that whole chorus just came flooding out. And he said, and I said, well, that's truer than true. I think I really said those words in response, but I just thought it was so funny that he said that because it sounded a little snarky.
It wasn't supposed to be snarky. It was really supposed to be empathetic, like,
Right.
Yeah.
I've been there, I get it. Welcome to the way it goes sometimes.
Yes.
You'll get through it. But all of that was unspoken and it came out
Yeah.
snarky.
It came out snarky, but we say it to ourselves all the time now.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
we do. We just do. We get stuck in traffic and we're just like, oh, welcome to the way it goes.
Well,
So
Rod,
it's-
that's better than saying, when's my breakfast going to be ready?
Yeah. Well, that's nice. So what's for breakfast?
For what's for breakfast?
Yeah. No, I
Scrambled eggs on rye.
do distinctly remember that, and that, anyone who spends time around songwriters will probably see those moments where they suddenly get the 1,000-yard stare, or the eyebrow goes up, and they're like, "Hang on," and or they're talking into their phone, what have you.
Oh, yeah.
When we started, it was always the little mini cassette recorder. That was
Yes.
the
Yeah.
constant companion.
The
I
little
know.
Philips dictaphone.
Indeed. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have those moments, though? 'Cause, like, to me, that's something that doesn't happen. I mean, I hear lines and I'll write them down in a little notebook or something. But, like, the idea of, like, having something that somebody says immediately send me into my song, like, to sit down and start writing and have so much of a song that comes out of that is so rare. That does not happen for me.
It doesn't happen a lot to me. It's happened a bit. And I often will get into my document, I'll get 8 lines.
Yeah.
And I just, in my Google Doc, the one that's about 89 pages
right.
now, right? And it will end up with some lines. Either it could be one word, it could be 10 words, or it could be 10 lines. But
Yeah.
so every once in a while you get this whole formed concept, and it's lovely when that happens. Yeah.
I wanted to talk, if you don't mind, I want to talk a little bit about moving beyond. You're talking about your Google Doc, and I've been using a tool called Master Writer for
Yes. Yeah.
I
know of it,
decade.
yeah.
I had it when it was on a CD drive, and and I had to get you have to pay for it and install it into your computer, and
Yeah.
so everything was self-contained. And when it went online, it just became even that much better. And
Yes.
I love it so much because sometimes, most of my songs start on a scratch pad or in a notebook or, my napkin, wherever, I happen to be when the ideas are flowing. But once I get started, that gets moved into Master Writer, and then I can build from there. So
And it's great because those kind of tools, you can have a thesaurus at the ready and a rhyming dictionary at the ready, and it's all there, and tag in your work tapes to it and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's been great. I don't know what I would ever do if it was. I mean, I'd find a way, but
Yeah.
I've become very dependent on it.
I'm still in the 1990s. I just put a Google folder together for any co-writing situation that I get in. I would create the folder called Rod and Annie and Robert, and then put all the content in there and fill her
Gotcha.
up with whatever. Yeah.
I've not done a lot of co-writing. I mean,
No?
very little, as a matter of fact. And I've always been a very solitary writer. You mentioned with him, it took me a long time to get comfortable working on songs, knowing that he was in the room next door or
Right.
walking around. I'm a
I
very,
still try to tiptoe
yeah, I've
or,
got,
or separate myself.
but it was great. It was actually good exercise because hopefully soon he'll be home more often again. So.
It's a good thing that you dig around the edges of hope, and I really appreciate the music, and I really
Thank you.
appreciate your time today. Thank you, Rod
Aw.
and Annie.
Thank you.
We will see you on the airwaves.
I hope so.
Yes, very nice to meet you, and thanks for having us.
Thanks, Robert.